Though slow and silent, this turtle saved the entire forest from a disaster no one expected. No strength, no loud voice. He used only one thing, and that changed everything. You won't believe how calmness can create miracles. Welcome to Buddha and Mindfulness, a place where meditative stories and Buddhist wisdom are told from the heart and with mindfulness. Today, let us listen to the story of a quiet turtle in a noisy forest and how calmness became the strength that saved many lives. But first, don't you forget to subscribe to Buddha and Mindfulness to support us in creating new videos every day. In an ancient forest, where golden sunlight streamed through thick layers of leaves, lived a turtle named Timo. He was not as quick as the monkeys, not as graceful as the deer, and certainly not as lively as the birds. Timo moved slowly, taking each step with care, spoke very little, and kept his mind still like a quiet autumn lake. The other animals often made fun of him. The monkeys danced and mocked, the deer passed with smug glances, and the birds chirped among themselves, claiming that speed was power and loudness was bravery. But Timo never argued. He continued to live at his own pace, observing everything with wise eyes and never letting anyone's words disturb his peace. A strange summer arrived. The streams began to dry up, leaves fell even before autumn, and fruits shriveled before ripening. Unease spread through the forest. The animals panicked, gathered in groups to blame and argue. They screamed, fought, and feared, but none truly acted. Some chose to flee the forest, while others fought over the remaining drops of water and scraps of fruit. Timo remained silent. He looked up at the sky, sniffed the earth, sensed the shift in the air, and remembered the stories his grandmother once told him. Stories of ancient droughts, when Mother Earth needed rest, and those who listened to nature would find the path forward. From that day on, Timo began digging a small trench. No one knew what he was doing. They only saw him each day, diligently using his small claws to slowly carve a path toward a hidden mountain spring. Many animals laughed again. A fox snorted, saying he'd grow old before finishing. A squirrel laughed loudly, calling his work pointless. But Timo did not respond. He dug little by little, resting when the moon rose, working again when the sun came up, because he believed that if he stayed steady and never stopped, water would return and the land would be revived. Gradually, the soil along the trench became moist. Tiny green shoots began to sprout, small but strong. No one noticed, but life was slowly awakening under the silent hands of the little turtle. One night, a lightning strike hit a patch of dry leaves. A massive fire broke out. The forest burned furiously. Thick smoke filled the air. The fast animals fled, but in the chaos, many ran in circles and couldn't escape. Screams echoed everywhere. In the middle of the chaos, Timo neither shouted nor panicked. He calmly led a small group of animals along the trench he had dug all throughout the dry season. That path, now covered with green plants and wild grass, had been nourished by water. The ground there didn't catch fire, the plants didn't burn, and the air was cool and damp. That night, while many areas of the forest were scorched, the path Timo walked remained peaceful. By morning, the rain finally poured down, extinguishing the last flames. The surviving animals gathered, silently looking at the little turtle with newfound respect. A young deer stepped forward, voice trembling, and asked why, when everyone else panicked, Timo remained calm. Timo looked toward the sky, where the rain had just stopped, and slowly replied, because storms do not test those who shout the loudest, but those who stay steady. He said, calmness is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the ability to see far. The strength that doesn't need to shout yet can change destiny. From that day on, the forest began to change. The animals listened more, rushed less, appreciated silence, and learned to observe nature, just as Timo had done. Timo continued walking slowly through the revived forest, never seeking praise, never needing applause. Because he knew, true strength always comes from the quietest places. Thank you for listening to today's story on Buddha and mindfulness. If your mind ever feels too noisy, remember Timo. Perhaps with just a little stillness, you'll hear the voice of wisdom within you. See you again in our next stories, where mindfulness always begins from within. Buddha and mindfulness. Stories and teachings for a mindful life.